Every morning when you open your eyes, you face a choice. It's not about what the world throws at you. It's not about the circumstances outside your control. It's about how you decide to speak to yourself. That voice inside your head, the one that talks to you before anyone else does, that's the one that shapes your life. It sets the tone for your day, your actions, your dreams, your future. So today, listen closely, because I'm going to tell you 9 things. 9 truths that you need to remind yourself every single day. Not because they're easy to say, but because they carry the power to change your story, your mindset, your path, your destiny. These truths aren't just words. They're a lifeline. They're a foundation. You might be facing struggles, doubts, fears. You might be questioning your worth or your purpose. But these 9 things are here to pull you back to your power, to remind you who you are beneath all the noise. Because when you start speaking these truths to yourself, your mind begins to shift, your heart begins to heal, your spirit starts to rise. You don't need permission from anyone to believe these things. You don't need anyone else's approval. You just need to say them loud enough to yourself every morning until you believe them deep down. That's when the magic happens. That's when you begin to live the life you were meant to live. So make this your ritual, your armor, your battle cry. Say these 9 truths every day and watch how your story changes. Because your voice, your words, your belief, they hold the key. You are the author of your own life. Start writing a better story today. You need to understand this: deep down in your soul, you are enough. Not because someone handed you a medal, because you've checked every box on someone else's list. Not because you've climbed the ladder or filled a role someone else designed for you. You are enough simply because you breathe, because you wake up, because you exist in this world with all your scars, your hopes, your dreams, and your struggles. That's it. Enough. There's a man I want you to think about, Chris Gardner. Maybe you've heard his story, maybe you haven't, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the truth behind it. This man found himself homeless, with nothing but a little boy by his side and a pocket full of dreams. At his lowest point, when the world had turned its back on him, when the night seemed darker than any he'd ever known, when doubt clawed at his spirit, he looked himself in the eye and said, "I am enough." Not because he had all the answers, not because success was handed to him, because he refused to let his circumstances define his worth. He held on to that truth, and that truth lifted him out of the pit. It pushed him to fight, to endure, to rise. He became a symbol, a living testament to what happens when you believe you are enough. You need to claim that for yourself. Your mistakes, your failures, the voices that say you're not good enough, those aren't your identity. They are just moments. They don't get to write your story unless you let them. You are not the sum of your errors or the doubts of others. You are not the worst day you ever had. You are not your fears or your shortcomings. You are a human being worthy of respect, of love, of every opportunity life has to offer. Right now, in this very moment, as you sit here listening, you are enough. Whole, complete, worthy. Remember, the enemy's greatest weapon is convincing you that you're not enough. Don't give it that power. Stand tall. Speak your truth to yourself every day, because when you own that truth, when you believe you are enough, nothing, no obstacle, no setback can keep you down. That's real strength. That's freedom. That's where your power begins. Listen up, because this right here is something that will change the way you live your life if you let it sink in. No one, and I mean no one, is coming to save you. There's no hero riding in on a white horse, no fairy godmother waving a magic wand, no secret shortcut waiting around the corner. Your life is not a rehearsal. This is it. This moment right here, right now, it's real. It's happening. And you are the one in the driver's seat. The question is, are you driving, or are you just along for the ride? Look at your day. Look at your calendar. Look at the choices you make from the time you open your eyes to the time you lay your head down. Ask yourself, am I running this day, or is it running me? Because too many people live in reaction mode. They let distractions pull them off course, Let fears freeze them in place. Let excuses steal their power. But you're better than that. You have to be. Taking control of your day doesn't mean you have to move mountains all at once. It means owning the little things. It means showing up when you don't feel like it. It means making the decision, again and again, to focus on what matters. Discipline beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. The person who wins is the one who chooses discipline over distraction every single time. They get up early when everyone else sleeps in. They do the work when no one is watching. They stay committed when the road gets tough. And make no mistake, those small choices, they build momentum. One decision leads to another, and suddenly you're on a path you designed with your own hands. You create your day, your week, your life by how you decide to spend your minutes. The power isn't in the world around you, it's in your hands. So I'm telling you now, own your day. Don't wait for someone else to light your fire. Be your own flame. Stand up, take control, and lead. Because when you do, you're unstoppable. Failure, it's a word that carries weight, a word that makes us shrink back, afraid to face the truth about ourselves. But what if I told you failure isn't the end? What if I told you failure is not a tombstone marking your defeat, but a stepping stone paving your way forward? You see, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the absence of failure. It's how they respond to it, how they let it shape them or break them. Take a moment and think about a man named Michael Jordan. When he was in high school, he was cut from the basketball team. Can you imagine the sting of that rejection? For most, that would be the end of the story. The moment they give up, say, "I'm done," but not him. He took that failure, held it close, and used it as fuel. Instead of walking away, he worked harder. He practiced longer. He refused to let that moment define who he was or what he could become. And because of that choice, he went on to be the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. That's the kind of mindset you need to own. Failure is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It's the universe's way of saying, there's a lesson here. Pay attention, grow. Every setback, every mistake, every fall, it's an opportunity to learn, to get better, to sharpen your edge. You can't run from failure, and you can't hide from it. You have to face it head on, look it in the eye, and say, I will learn from you. I will not be defined by you. Because here's the truth. Your failures don't have the power to stop you unless you hand it to them. You are stronger than your worst mistakes. You are more than your disappointments. You have within you the strength to rise again and again until you reach the greatness you're meant for. So when failure knocks, don't shut the door. Invite it in, learn what it has to teach, and then step forward with a sharper edge, a stronger heart, and a fiercer spirit. That's how legends are made. You know, one of the hardest battles we fight every single day isn't out there in the world. It's right inside our own minds. We are often our own worst enemies. We tear ourselves down with words we'd never say to another human being. We yell at ourselves in silence, criticize every little flaw, every mistake, every misstep. We look in the mirror and focus on what's wrong instead of what's strong. We doubt ourselves like we're unworthy of kindness, like we don't deserve grace. But imagine this. What if you treated yourself the way you treat your closest friend? That friend you would never abandon, never belittle, never put down. The one you would encourage, stand by, lift up no matter what. What if, when you stumble, instead of screaming inside your head, you spoke gently to yourself? What if you offered yourself the same patience and compassion you give to those you love? You deserve that. You deserve to be kind to yourself. And I don't mean a surface kind of kindness. I mean real deep, honest compassion that changes the way you see yourself. Because your inner voice, that voice you hear when no one else is around, that voice is the foundation of your confidence. If it's harsh, critical, unforgiving, how do you expect to believe in your own power? How do you expect to rise when the world tries to knock you down? You've got to nurture that voice. You've got to feed it with encouragement, with understanding, with patience. When you fall short, don't punish yourself. Don't replay the failures in your mind like a broken record. Instead, say to yourself, I am doing my best. I am learning. I am growing. Speak to yourself like you would speak to a child trying to find their way in a big, confusing world, with love, with gentleness, with hope. Because when you are kind to yourself, something incredible happens. You build a fortress of confidence that no storm can break. You develop a resilience that carries you through the toughest days. You start to believe that you are worthy, just as you are, and that belief will change everything. So start today. Be kind to yourself. The world needs your light, and it starts with how you treat the person who looks back at you in the mirror every morning. Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? Just when you think you've got a handle on things, it throws a curveball. The storms come without warning. Unexpected losses, setbacks, disappointments. You try to plan to prepare, but sometimes the winds howl and the rain pours, and all you can do is stand in it. But here's the truth. You can't control the weather. You can't control the storms that come your way. What you can control is how you respond. What you can control is your umbrella, how you shield yourself, how you carry yourself through the rain. Far too many people spend their lives worrying about things they have no power over. They waste energy trying to fix what's out of reach. The opinions of others, the past, the things that have already happened or may never happen. And when you do that, what happens? You get drained. You lose your strength. You lose your focus. You lose your peace. But what if you shifted your gaze? What if you stopped trying to wrestle with the uncontrollable and instead focused on what's in your hands? Your actions, your attitude, your effort. Because that's where your power lies. The moment you take ownership of those things, you take control of your life. It's not about controlling the world around you. It's about controlling the world inside you. When life knocks you down, you can decide to get up. When the noise and chaos are loud, you can choose to be calm. When opportunities arise, you can choose to show up. That's your umbrella. That's your power. Remember, no storm lasts forever. The sun comes out. But even when it doesn't, you still have the strength inside to protect yourself, to move forward, to keep going. Don't waste a second worrying about what you can't change. Focus on what you can. That's how you win. That's how you build a life worth living, by holding tight to what you can control and letting go of the rest. When you do that, you'll find a peace and a power no storm can steal. Let me tell you something real. There is no greatness without struggle. No story worth telling comes wrapped in a bow, no victory without the sweat and the scars that come from the fight. Struggle isn't just a detour on the road to success, it is the road. It's the fire that shapes you, the pressure that makes you stronger. You want to know what makes a person truly great? It's not the absence of pain or hardship. It's how they stand tall in the face of it, how they refuse to give up even when the world tells them to quit. Look at a man like Nelson Mandela, 27 years behind bars, 27 years away from freedom, away from family, away from the life he dreamed of. Many would say that's a life destroyed, but he didn't see it that way. He said, I am not a saint, unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying. And that's the truth. We are all flawed, we all fall. But greatness belongs to those who get back up, who keep moving forward when every fiber of their being wants to stop. Struggles, setbacks, pain, they're not enemies, they're teachers. They're the soil where strength grows. When life pushes you down, don't run from it. Don't hide in the shadows hoping the pain will disappear. Lean into it. Face it head on. Let it teach you what you need to learn, because it's in those moments of hardship that you discover who you really are. You find a courage you never knew existed. You build a resilience that no easy road could ever give you. You've got to shift your mindset. Struggle is not a sign of failure. It's proof you're trying. It's proof you're alive. It's proof you're moving towards something bigger than yourself. Every time you stumble, you're getting stronger. Every time you feel like you can't take one more step, that's when your character is being forged. So don't run from your struggles. Don't be ashamed of the hard days. Embrace them. Hold them close. Let them fuel your fire. Because on the other side of struggle is strength. And with strength, there's nothing you can't overcome. You have to understand something important about progress. It's not always loud. It's not always wrapped up in fireworks or applause. Most of the time, progress is quiet. It's subtle. It's that moment when you get out of bed, even though your body is telling you to stay down. It's the small step you take toward your goal when the mountain ahead feels too tall to climb. It's showing up day after day, even when the weight of the world wants to drag you under. Too many people wait for perfection before they celebrate. They say, "I'll be happy when I reach the finish line." Or, "I'll feel proud when I hit the big milestone." But life isn't about those giant leaps alone. Life is about the small wins, the daily victories that build the foundation for those giant moments. You can't build a skyscraper without laying bricks one by one. And those bricks, they're your small achievements, your progress, your grit. Think about a marathon runner. That race isn't won in the first mile. It's won one step at a time. Every time their feet hit the pavement, they're making progress. Sometimes that progress is slow. Sometimes it's painful, but it's always moving forward. That's how dreams are made. Through consistent, persistent effort. Don't underestimate the power of celebrating your progress, no matter how small it seems. When you recognize those wins, you're telling yourself, "I am moving forward. I am growing. I am capable." That acknowledgement builds confidence. It fuels motivation. It creates momentum. So today, take a moment to honor your journey. Maybe you didn't finish everything on your to-do list, but you showed up. Maybe you didn't hit your goal, but you took a step closer. That's progress. That's growth. That's life. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to celebrate. The perfect moment is now, right here, right where you are. Every small victory is a building block to your bigger dreams. Embrace it. Celebrate it. Let it remind you that you are moving forward, and that forward is all that matters. Listen, the people you surround yourself with, they shape everything about your life. They shape your thoughts, your beliefs, your energy, your dreams. You walk into a room, and you take on the energy of the people in that room. So you better be mindful. Your circle matters more than you realize. If the people around you doubt you, criticize you, or hold you back, guess what? That doubt starts to creep into your own mind. Those negative words become the soundtrack you hear every day. That's poison. And it will slowly drain your spirit if you let it. Now, on the other side, when you surround yourself with people who believe in you, people who push you, challenge you, who refuse to let you settle for less than you're capable of, something shifts. Their energy lifts you. Their belief fuels your fire. They don't let you get comfortable in your excuses or your doubts. They remind you who you are when you forget. That kind of company is gold. That's the kind of circle you need. I want you to think about the company you keep. Are they lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they encouraging your growth or feeding your fears? Are they celebrating your wins or waiting for you to fall? Because here's the truth. You can't soar with eagles if you're hanging out with turkeys. You can't reach your full potential when you're surrounded by negativity. It's not always easy to distance yourself from people who bring doubt or hold you back. Sometimes it's family, sometimes longtime friends. But your growth requires tough choices. It demands that you protect your energy, that you guard your mind. You have to be intentional. You have to say, "I deserve better. I deserve to be around those who believe in me, who see my potential, who want to see me win." Because when you build that kind of circle, you build a fortress of support, encouragement, and strength. And with that behind you, no obstacle is too big, no dream too far. So choose your circle wisely. Choose those who lift you higher, because your life, your future depends on it. Why do you get up every morning? What's that fire burning deep inside you that keeps you moving when everything else is telling you to quit? When the road gets hard, when the nights get long and the weight of the world feels like it's pressing down on your shoulders, what pulls you through? That, my friend, is your purpose. It's the reason you're here. the compass that guides your steps, the anchor that keeps you steady when the storms come. There was a woman who faced rejection after rejection. People told her she didn't belong on television, that she wasn't right for the spotlight. But she held on to her purpose, her why. That purpose became a force so strong it pushed her beyond the noise, beyond the doubt, beyond the limitations others tried to place on her. She became a global icon, not because the path was easy, but because her purpose was unshakable. You've got to find your why. You have to hold it close like a lifeline, because when you remember your purpose every day, it changes everything. It gives you the strength to get through the hard days. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. It reminds you why your dreams matter, not just to you, but to the world. This isn't just some motivational phrase to toss around. This is a call to arms, a commitment to yourself, a daily ritual that demands courage, self-love, and relentless perseverance. When you wake up tomorrow, look yourself in the eye in that mirror. Remind yourself of your purpose. Let it fill your chest with fire and your mind with clarity. Say it loud. Say it proud. Because when you live anchored in purpose, you build a fortress around your dreams. No storm can shake it. No doubt can break it. You are enough. You are powerful. You are unstoppable. That's the truth you carry with you every day. Don't forget it. Live it. Breathe it. Because your purpose is your power. And it's what will carry you through every battle you face.